Yo, what's going on, you guys? Red Frost here, and I know it's been a minute. It's been got like maybe 3, almost 4 months since my last video. Well, technically since the last time like I sat down and edited something. I did post a short not too long ago, and that was just something that I worked on like literally 2 weeks ago. But before we get into the swing of things of the topic of today's video, I kind of took a break again from YouTube. There was a lot going on with my mental, especially towards this last latter half of 2023. So I'm sorry that I couldn't come out with a video about what to expect in 2024. I'll probably go around. I'll probably just end up making another video in the future. For that, I just never really got around the time to do it. So yeah, we're into the new year. It's already looking good. I'm much more better. Mental's better. I'm ready to start grinding. And speaking of grinding, as you can see in the background, I've been playing a lot of Farlight 84 as recently. I've been also streaming it. Go follow me on twitch.tv/Ross. I'll probably have like a screenshot or something. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna be a link in the description. I'm pretty much streaming almost every single day there. If it's not every day, it's like every other day. You'll definitely see me streaming Farlight. I've been enjoying Farlight recently. There's not really a lot of games that I've been enjoying recently. A lot of games have been just kind of having their own problems, and Farlight, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So the one thing that I really got to talk about with Farlight 84, and a lot of it is just community wise, and this whole update, update is very controversial. There are people that like it, there are people that dislike it. And for me, what I want to say is I'm not defending, like a lot of the choices, because I don't have like the inside dev, scope look. A lot of people say, oh, the devs need to do this, and they remove jetpacks and stuff like that, and that's what everybody's like literally saying, bring back jetpacks, bring back jetpacks. I'm gonna get into this. The first thing I want to say is, it does suck that they got rid of the one unique thing, the one unique movement of Farlight, and it's the reason why a lot of me and some of my friends have played it. But then at the same time, as they were talking about it, I was watching an AMA. It was what Zach Wilder's video. They did a whole AMA, basically a Q&A of why they did some of the choices and stuff like that, and it started to make sense because a lot of the gameplays that you would see and a lot of the stuff that you would see a lot of teams just completely aping, going in, with jetpacks, being the ultimate universal answer for everything. And I mean, for basically, or if somebody uses their ulti, just use jetpacks to get out of there, simple. And it's just like, to me, thinking about it now, it doesn't really incorporate a lot of team play, you know what I'm saying? And it's more solo friendly, as well as just completely, there's just no point about it, a lot of the characters were pretty much useless because of that. Like Cypher was useless even with ulti. Lucinda was useless with it, because people could just jetpack out of her ulti. Ember was useless for a bit because of his ulti, but Ember was pretty much more or less one of those people that if you were inside of a house or a building, you could still kind of clutch up. But by useless, I don't really mean like completely useless. I mean like literally like the number one answer for a lot of skills and stuff like that was jetpacks, and they wanted to turn it a lot more into where heroes are a lot more viable across the board, and it's much more of a team oriented game, which is completely fine by me. And it's another reason why I've kind of just been into it lately. I kind of like that aspect. Don't get me wrong, I love the jetpacks. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Trust me, I'm not new to this game. I was playing it ever since it came out. I've even had my eyes on it before, in alpha and beta stages, but this was like around the time when Fortnite was at its peak. But I just gotta say something, man. I've been seeing a lot of people just spamming bring back jetpacks, and I get it, but it's like the core vision. I see their core vision, man, and I'm like, it makes a lot of sense, because that being the number one answer, you cannot balance around that. And people were saying like, oh, it's already balanced, jetpacks is already balanced and all this stuff. It really wasn't. Almost half of the roster were pretty much useless to borderline, just not as good compared to all of the high movement characters. Literally, you would see the same teams run the same comp and all that other stuff. And yeah, it's a little bit the same way with 2.0, where it's kind of a bit slower and it's mostly snipers and, you know what I'm saying, defensive characters on you know what I'm saying, mostly that are like the strongest right now. But it incorporates a lot more team play, and from there they got a lot more of a grounded approach to what they can bounce around with and experiment, and also make a lot more enjoyable for each and every other hero that they're going to end up basically revamping, because they're pretty much going to be revamping almost the whole roster, I would hopefully assume, because as of right now, there's some characters I can say that are pretty useless, like Watchmen. NKR is fucking useless as shit. Momoy, fucking. There's a good bit that aren't really as strong as some of the characters that are in the game right now, and defensive characters as well are just really strong. Like, you know, you have Ember that is really strong. Captain, if you know how to use him right, you could come in clutch a lot of the times. Mayshell's good, man. There's a lot of characters, man, that are pretty decent, you know. And I just been seeing a lot of people just say bring back jetpacks, like, you know, the game was balanced, the game was fine without it, you know, with it, you know, why remove it? And I do think the idea of them not really saying much on why the removal was at first, before they came out with the AMA, was definitely their fault, and I can understand that. But getting into like the whole nitty gritty and just logical side of it, I don't really think this was a dev thing. A lot of people think, oh, the devs, you know what I'm saying? If it was, then I'm sure that this is something that they can take the L in, you know, because there was no transparency, and, you know what I'm saying, they just pretty much put this update. This update was pretty much rushed. You can tell, because there's no answer to almost every other counter, and, you know, snipers are pretty much really, really good right now. But I feel like this is just more of like a shareholder thing, where not even like a shareholder, but just like higher ups, just they wanted the game to be a lot more casual, so that way the casual player base, you know, can get a lot more hands on it, so that way it's a much more appealing to like the newer players. And I know to a lot of people that's kind of a punch in the gut, because it's like, oh, why are you making the game casual? It's like, casual and competitive can coexist in a video game. It doesn't have to be a competitive game, because if the game is too competitive, it's going to drive off the casuals, and then the game slowly dies off, and then it eventually dies, even though no matter how hardcore the community is, it'll eventually die off and they'll just pull up the servers. But if the game is too casual, then a lot of the players that are pretty good, or a lot of the newer players, are just going to end up playing the game for no more than 40 hours, and then something new will pop up and they'll just go transfer, because guess what? There's nothing exciting about this game, because they keep making it too easy, and it's just not as fun and appealing as you would think it would be, because it's just way too easy. But one thing that just has been grinding my gears, I've just been seeing people just say, like, bring back jetpacks. There's no feedback, there's no nothing, and they're just like, oh, the main feedback is bring back jetpacks, because there was no. It's just a whole lot of crying, man. It's like, if this update, first off, I'm pretty sure it's just like one update, this major update, this controversial update that has drove you away. Just take a break. That's what I did. Whenever I stopped playing Farlight was already decaying on Steam, but it still was like in like the 20k, you know, range. But that was mostly because of hackers, and I've made a video previously on this, on how prevalent hackers was, and it was bad. And it wasn't even mostly PC players hacking, it was also Android players, you know what I'm saying, APKing, you know, the game files and all that shit. It was really, really bad. So and then there's also a lot of different reasons why a lot of people aren't really playing, you know what I'm saying, the rank system and all that stuff. Ranked is just pubs, man. That's what all it is. The biggest issue with this is that there's no map rotation. ICIOS said something about this, you know, in a vid, saying that we do need map rotation. I've been screaming for this for the longest, and I've been saying this shit on stream. If there was a map rotation, this will make sure that all those people that grind Lambton, you know what I'm saying, that spend day in and day out killing bots, making sure that they get all the elo gains, you know what I'm saying, it would slow that process down, and it would make matchmaking a lot more, one, quicker, two, much more competitive, and just three, all around just enjoyable regardless of rank. Now I do think, yeah, there should be some sort of rank cutoff where, okay, well, if you're platinum, you can go against some of the higher ranks and stuff like that, but from then, that's whenever we should start dumbing down to where it's like, what I'm saying, gold, or even plats down to gold all the way into bronze. But you know what I'm saying? But there's got to be some sort of map rotation, because their excuse for it was basically them saying, oh, well, for our competitive players, we need them to learn the maps. Is it hard for competitive players to simply open up a custom room and just scrim on there, right? Is it hard for them to do that? You know what I'm saying? Is it hard to just set up a Discord of pro players or something like that? Is it really that hard to do that? Because no pro player is going to scrim in a pub match. Is what I'm trying to what I'm saying, get by. No professional player is going to scrim in a public match. That is not how you professionally prepare for a tournament, for cash earnings or anything. A public match is just for leisure, for gameplay, for fun, whereas competitive is purely competitive play, for cash prizes, so. But that's just one thing that I just been seeing, and whether it be mobile players, it's like some of y'all are grown, like kind of just crying about this. It's like, if it's a bad update, take a break or just leave. It's simple as that, right? But I get it, you don't want to leave because you do like Farlight and you want to see it grow. Well, then just leave feedback. Say, hey, we need some type of movement. There's supposed to be some, there's supposed to be jet sliding soon. I would hope soon, because I mean, as of right now, we gotta wait until March until a bunch of shit kicks in. So that's where it's been for me. I still kind of enjoy the game as of right now. Don't get me wrong. I would love jetpack movement and all that stuff. I'm fine without it. I could still play and still enjoy the game without it. It's just that right there is just the biggest issue, and there's just not a lot of movement, which is why you see me playing Sunil, and then you'll see a lot of other people. I think Sunil is really, really strong this season, especially whenever it comes to team play. Like, he is crazy. So, what else that I really want to talk about when it came to Farlight? I would say overall the matchmaking experience, people were saying like they would get into like higher ping lobbies. It's because they crunched down the servers. It's less servers now, and they were talking about there's more focus on the Asia or the Philippine servers. And honestly, I haven't really had a really big issue with servers, and this is me playing on PC. I don't know about mobile, what I'm saying. I haven't really had the biggest issue. I'd say all in all, we just need this movement buff, because I'm pretty sure whenever people get this jet slide and they see it, they're going to test out the update, and if it is good, people are going to come back. The same people that are saying, oh my god, bring back jetpacks, and I'm going to quit, they're going to come right back, and they're going to play the game and be like, you know what, I can get used to this. It's going to happen. Now, if it's a bad jet slide, then I can understand, like, hey, I can definitely make a video and be like, this is terrible. How did y'all not think this through? With a really big map and then wide open areas, and yet the slide is horrible, so I just wanted to leave my 2 cents on this whole controversy, because all in all, I've kind of just been enjoying it, but I could see why people are mad, and I know people are in the comments are like, well, jetpacks are the reason why the game was unique. I know, I get that, but it's hard balancing around that. Like, you gotta understand, like, it's much more harder balancing around the fact that you can simply go up in the air, left, right, leaving out of, abilities and stuff like that. It doesn't, what I'm saying, it's really a no-brainer, is what I mean. It's just kind of like COD gameplay, just with jetpacks. That's literally what it is. And it's so hard, like, balancing around that when you're trying to be a hero shooter that incorporates team play and a competitive vibe. So I think that's what they're trying to go for, and I see the vision, and I do think that they could pull it off. They got to do something now, because obviously the game kind of decayed, and there's not a lot of, what I'm saying, people are saying that, oh, the game is dead. I'm like, no. No. You'd be surprised how many mobile players are playing, and then there's a great amount of people playing it on Steam. Not as many as you think, or not as many as, what I'm saying, as it used to be, but there's still a decent, hefty, healthy amount for them to be like, okay, we took a hit, it's time for us to spin back, what I'm saying, let's get the ball rolling. So yeah, anyways, I want to leave my 2 cents in. I'm also probably going to be posting Farlight content, on this channel as well. Will it be often? Possibly. I'll try to incorporate Farlight and the different, other video games that, I normally play. And it's just something that I've just been enjoying for like the past few weeks, and it's something that I just come back to and I just enjoy it. Like, I enjoy playing Farlight. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I can understand if you're mad, but you gotta see it from both sides, man. You gotta see it from both sides. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just leave. That's all it takes, man. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace.